perspectives.
Okay, hello everyone. Nice to be here again. So this time my presentation is about the book A Terrible Secret of a Madman. So I hope you like it. Okay, I'd like to begin with this quote that I found, and I think it's interesting and it's very accurate. Pleasure of love lasts but a moment. Pain of love lasts a lifetime. And it is by this lady called Betty Davis. Okay, so I will continue with an introduction. Okay, this is a very interesting story about love, heartbreak, secrets, mystery, and many other surprising things. The story is about a young doctor that went to visit his family in a small village. There, he discovered a poor madman near the beach. He remembered seeing this madman, whose name is Raphael, some years before. Now that he was a doctor, he wanted to help Raphael. So he set out to investigate everything he could about Raphael's life to find out what drove him crazy and thus be able to help him. The doctor never imagined the truth that he was going to discover. I think sometimes even the most insignificant person has an interesting story to tell or a dark secret to hide. And sometimes even the most beautiful love story can become a horror story in only a minute. So I'll be talking about my point of view of this story based on these three ideas. First, I will talk about emotional trauma. Then I will talk about heartbreak. And lastly, I'll talk about murder. In the end, you will know how these ideas are connected. So, okay, let's start. Okay, first, emotional trauma. Well, at the beginning of the story, it's told to us the terrible trauma that Raphael lived when he was only a kid, when he saw his father die due to a shark attack. That terrible event caused Raphael a great hatred for sharks and a strange hobby for murdering them and massacring them in a very peculiar way. He used to pour the blood of other animals into the water to attract sharks. When the sharks were close, Raphael killed a couple of them, and then he waited for them to eat each other so he could kill them all. I don't know, but I think this isn't a normal activity that a mentally healthy person usually does. But okay. On the other side, we have the charismatic and lovely Anita. She was a girl loved by everyone in the village. Anita, unlike others in the village, could read and write. And I think this made everyone see her as someone superior and important. Raphael was in love with her, but Anita's father wanted her to marry a rich and important man, not a poor and simple fisherman. But during the story, we discovered that Anita loved Raphael too, or at least that's what she said to him. Throughout this story, we discover some terrible events that traumatized Raphael. So, in the end, we understand what drove him crazy, but I will tell it little by little. um, I think in life we face many situations beyond our control that can lead to emotional wounds. And it's our responsibility to worry about our mental health and go to a professional to help us to continue with our lives in the best way and let go of the traumatic situations that torment us. We don't want to end up like poor Raphael. So, okay, let's move on. Okay, now heartbreak. Well, Anita always told Raphael that she loved him. But sadly, when a more interesting man, a soldier with better stories to tell, appeared in town, she decided that now he would be the love of her life. This was terrible because Rafael really loved Anita. He even went 6 months to the city to work only to buy a ring in the shape of a golden fish to Anita. And it was in this specific shape because Anita wrote a story about the magical golden fish, and Rafael wanted to make Anita happy because she was his true love. Um, Unfortunately, Anita was only a spoiled and immature girl who thought that she was a princess and that she lived in a fairy tale. And Raphael was mentally unstable man with much emotional trauma. But that doesn't mean that his love for Anita wasn't real. When Anita led him for the soldier, Raphael was heartbroken. Heartbreak is a feeling of overwhelming sadness and grief. You know, we all know this, but loving is beautiful. It is one of the best feelings in life. But when love is disappointed or betrayed or unrequited, a burning pain is felt. We have all felt it, and if you haven't, sooner or later you will. A heartbreak feels as if someone is hitting you from the inside and you can do anything to stop the pain. Terrible. The only thing we can do when we have a heartbreak is cry and accept our misery, um, and maybe hope for the best. Eventually, we will get over it. But if you're a person with a strong emotional trauma without overcoming it, heartbreak can be dangerous. That's what happened to Raphael, and that's why everyone in the village believed that he had lost his mind due to a heartbreak, but nobody knew the truth. Okay, now murder. Well, when we combine a man with emotional trauma and heartbreak, we definitely don't get a positive result. The doctor discovered that everybody in the village thought that Anita and the soldier had gone together, but Raphael, on his deathbed, told all the truth to the doctor. The truth was this. Raphael wanted to kill the soldier terribly. Raphael stole and killed a donkey from the village. He cut up the dead animal and threw the pieces into the sea to cover with blood all the water around the soldier's boat. Um, he also tied the donkey's back legs to the engine of the boat. Raphael did it because he knew it was going to attract sharks, for the blood, and they were going to attack the soldier. That night, Anita and the soldier had planned to meet in the beach, and Raphael knew about it, so that's why he did what he did. Raphael was so happy because he was sure that he had achieved his mission. The next day, he went to wash his boat since it was still covered in blood. The blood attracted some sharks, and Raphael killed some of them. Then he took the bigger one and pulled it into the bottom of the boat. And then he cooked the shark open from neck to tail. Pieces of meat, fish, and hair fell out from its stomach. Then Raphael noticed something that made his blood run cold. In the pile of meat and fish that came out of the shark, there was a hand, a complete hand with a ring in the shape of a golden fish in the middle finger. It was at that precise moment that Raphael's life was lost in a black hole. So in the end, we realized that it was the emotional traumas, the heartbreak, and the guilt for murdering not only the soldier, but also Anita, that turned Raphael into a madman. His misery was so great that he even jumped into the water for the sharks to eat him, and in his misery to finish his miserable life, but the sharks just ignored him. That was funny. Rafael was condemned to live the rest of his life sunk in misery, in despair and madness. The madness that his impulsive act of love caused. At this point, I think of all the people who have committed terrible acts out of heartbreak or spite. And a lot of those people carry on with those traumas without overcoming for the rest of their lives. And that can lead some people to commit actions that they can regret their entire lives, as happened with Raphael. And that isn't good for anyone, obviously. Okay, so in conclusion, sometimes we forget that those people that everyone ignores, the dirty, lonely, and sick people who live in the streets as ghosts, may have important or terrible stories that led them to live in those conditions. We don't know anything about them. They are a mystery, just as Raphael was. So finally, I want to say that love is like a drug. It makes us feel ecstatic. But if we are so unfortunate that at some point the effects wear off, the return to reality is painful and aggressive. Love shouldn't hurt so bad, nor should it make you feel like you have to kill someone to get it. Love should drive you crazy with happiness, not crazy in a miserable way. So think about it the next time you fall in love with someone. And okay, that's all for now. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any comments or questions?
Well, congratulations. That's a really good presentation. I really enjoy the fishes. So, and the colors. Okay, so I have a question. How did you feel when the shark took Anita's hand away?
How did I feel? Well, it was terrible when I discovered it, when I was reading and I read that, when I discovered it, I was like, oh my God, what a terrible life of that poor man, and what a terrible destiny for the poor Anita, because she was only a girl. She was only a girl that fell in love with a man, and that's all. So I felt like poor Anita. She could be happy with the soldier, maybe. She could be in the city now, I don't know, with a family, but no. She is like in the stomach of a shark. And that is so terrible. I don't know. I felt disgusted at that moment because yeah, it was terrible, but okay, it was interesting at the same time. It was like, oh my God, but that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Odalis.
Hello.
I don't know, this book is like so interesting, and I wanted to ask you something, and is that what do you think about Raphael's resignation, accept that he will have to live the rest of his life suffering because of what happened with the sharks and Anita, because we already know that it was awful.
Okay. I think at the end you deserve what you get what you deserve. He was a madman. He lived the rest of his life completely mad, completely traumatized. He wasn't happy at all. I don't know. Well, he got what he deserved. The poor Anita didn't. She didn't deserve that. But okay, neither the soldier. But okay, that was their terrible destiny. sometimes some people make your destiny, you know, and well, the destiny, Raphael's destiny was being in a black hole for the rest of his life, you know, and being completely mad. I don't know. It was what he deserved.
Thank you, Odalis.
Thank you. Okay,
Okay,
anyone else?
Alice, I have other questions. So I
Mhm.
really like your presentation. So it's really cool. So the colors and the, yeah, I think that it's really, I really like it.
Thank
Also I
you.
have a question. If you were Raphael, what would you do different when he realized about the love of Anita and the soldier?
Um, you know, I think that relationship that Anita and Raphael had, they didn't love each other like they that wasn't real love. I think it was like the love you feel when you have your first boyfriend or girlfriend, you know. I think it was like that. It's not like completely real or great, but for them it was the big deal. So okay. But I don't know if that love no, well, definitely I don't think that the love has to make you kill someone, as I said in my presentation. No, love should make you happy, not to make you feel like you have to kill someone. So I don't know what I would have done. I'm not a I'm not a killer. So okay, I think I would accept if someone doesn't love me, and I would be heartbroken, but I would accept it and I will get over it. Eventually I will get over it and I will continue with my life like a normal person.
Yeah, it's true. Okay. Thank you, Alice.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, Odalis. And your last question, do you think that karma exists?
Yes, I truly believe that karma exists. As I said in one of my answers, at the end, the most of the times you get what you deserve. So if you're a good person, you will get good things and positive things. That happens like the most of the times, or I wish it could happen like the most of the times, you know. But sometimes, as I said before, some people take the control of your life, as Raphael did with the soldier. Um, I guess they weren't bad people, Anita and the soldier. They just were people in love. I don't know, and they didn't do anything wrong to end like that, you know. So their destiny was terrible. Um, but karma, for at least for Raphael, yes, exists because you know he tried to commit suicide. You know, like he wanted the sharks to eat them, but that doesn't happen. So it was like karma. You have to continue living, but suffering the rest of your life, suffering for the guilt of you did. And he accepted, but it was karma. He got what he deserved. Okay, is that all? Okay.
Yes, so
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Huh?
Thank you so much, girls.